This is the second video for Chapter 1's exam review. We're starting from number 6. You're asked to identify the graph that best represents the relationship between the number of cookies and the equivalent number of dozens. Between the number of cookies and the equivalent number of dozens, circle our choice. With any multiple choice, you want to see if some of them don't make any sense. So if I could even make a quick table of information, I would quickly see the number of dozen that I might know about, because I know about dozens of cookies, and the number of cookies. Here's what I know, is 1 dozen cookies is 12 cookies. 2 dozens means 12 2 times, so 24. 3 dozen means 12 3 times, or 36. As I continue to increase my number of dozens, my number of cookies is going to get bigger by 12 each dozen I add. So I can definitely rule out graph C, because at a certain point the number of cookies starts going down even when the dozens keeps getting bigger. Then I've got to decide, when I have 0 dozen cookies, should I have a lot of cookies? Or when I have 0 dozen cookies, should I have 0 cookies? And the answer should be B, because as I increase my dozen, my number of cookies should also increase. Number 7 is getting at the same thing, but you should have multiple sentence answers to number 7. It says, use words that relate to the graph and the situation. Describe what's happening. So we don't just want a one sentence of, it's getting bigger. So as time continues to go this way on the x-axis, we want to try to describe what's happening to the distance you are driving to school. So at time 0, we're at 0 distance. We maybe want to describe that we are quickly moving towards school, driving towards school. But then we need to explain what happens in this little part, because our distance isn't getting any bigger for a few moments. Think about what happens on your drive to school, where you're not getting any closer to school for a few moments. Stop signs, stop lights. Then you're going slower than you were before. You're getting farther from home. So therefore your distance to school is better, but you're not going quite as steep as you were at the beginning, so you're more slowly driving. And then again, another one of those where you're not increasing your distance, you must be stopped. And then another one where you continue on. So you want to think about breaking that into parts and giving us an explanation. This changing income one is kind of rough. So over time, as time gets bigger, you might want to, again, break this into little pieces. Your income goes up, and then it starts to go up really fast for a little bit. And then again, it's steady for a little bit. And then your income stops growing for some time. And then it starts to go up again. So you want to find ways to explain those parts. And maybe you can even give some story part to why that is. But we shouldn't just hear as time went up, distance went up. That's not what's happening in the graph. Number 8. Number 8 relates back to functions. They're telling you that the f is a function, and that's just its name, just like you have a name to tell you apart from other students. When you calculate using the function called f, you put a number x into that formula and you calculate. So this is the name side, and this is the calculate side. Same for that function they're calling g. That's the name side, so I know that's which different equation you're talking about, and that's the calculate side. So when they tell me to go find f of 4, they're telling me to go use the f equation, the calculate side of f, and they're telling me what to input. So I need to calculate f, which is 3x plus 2, when x, you notice it used to be f of x and now it's f of 4, they're telling me what to use for x. So they're telling me which formula to go use, the f function, that's what that name is. They're telling me what to use as my x to input into it. So go carry that out. In part B, again, pause the video and do it. They're telling me which equation to go use, the g function. And if you look up at the g function, the calculate side says use the equation x minus 3. And this is telling you when x is 2. So you need to go put x is 2 in and calculate. Letter C wants you to do 2 things. Go find the f equation when you put 1 in. So the f equation, you know what that looks like, and your input's going to be 1. Get a number for that. Then you have to go get the g equation. You know how to do that, and use it with negative 2 as your input, and then add those 2 values together at the end. Pause the video and take care of these things. Number 9, you're identifying as linear or nonlinear. So linear means that when you graph it, it's some sort of straight line. Nonlinear means it's some sort of not straight line. So you're identifying whether it's a straight line or not a straight line. Then if it has x-intercept or y-intercept and you're estimating, if it doesn't have one of those, you're going to say none if you can't tell it. So I definitely see this point right here as my y-intercept. Mine's definitely not linear as I look at this curve. And then I see my x-intercept down here. Same for part B. It does look linear to me. It looks like a straight line, so answer that yes or no. You're going to have to estimate on this one for x and y-intercept because you can see your y-intercept's right about there, but you're going to have to estimate about what you think that is. And then x-intercept, I don't see one. I never see it cross this axis, so I would say it does not have an x-intercept.